we're running this masterclass. It's called Vertical Kampung Jakarta, and we've read your book several times. And this is not a normal kampung improvement program in Jakarta, but we would have several real sites from the city of Jakarta for social housing. And then we would say, let's not do social housing, but we do a different kind of urban form that is resembling kampung, or like more interesting urban spaces.
A village.
How would you see the possibility of taking the intelligence of existing kampungs and bringing it to a possible housing structure, multifunctional, and so on? Thanks.
But first of all, what is normal? I would say normality in the kampung is not normality in Zurich or Caracas. So the first step would be to understand what this condition that you in your question just defined as normal, what that actually means in the context before transforming it and defining how to work with it, how to mold it.
So it's all about aspiration. You get in the kampungs all these levels, all these wood structures, right? That actually have urban agriculture on the top. They recuperate rainwater. They have herbs and medicines. They have chickens. They do all kinds of, let's say, composting, etc. So for us, that's normal, right? And so it's all about aspirations. What aspirations are we selling, to the world? Certainly not those aspirations of hot money destroying villages.
We know that in the kampungs, life is very much related to water. I suppose it is similar in Jakarta. So we're talking about a more horizontal understanding of density, not a vertical one, as our study in Caracas and Torre David showed. So people who live along the water, even taking in consideration flooding for the advantage to have a productive space, usable space, maybe using the river both for transportation and toilet, but we have to consider also what that means on the design level, how we might have to introduce some other strategies that we can accept that lifestyle and that normality into something where architects, urban designers and designers can actually make a meaningful contribution without suspending what is actually making the neighborhood in the kampung.
So it's about developing some design tools that will actually be able to give us the values that we're removing or adding when we do urban design or when we add architecture prototypes. In other words, what are we taking? Are we taking the fishing? Are we cleaning the river? Are we actually where are we throwing all the wastewater? So we have to figure out exactly what it is that communities need, so that somehow we bring the knowledge in the community and just mediate with the specialists and the architects, so that we actually empower the community to do it themselves. It's not about us coming in with a new design prototype.
It's almost like a question also of urban economics. We shouldn't disregard that. It's about employment, it's about living conditions, and in a kampung we have a very fragile system of survival, even if it's often in a challenged way. But I would also work around that intelligence, that economy that exists, and see in what way the kampung serves the larger city. And perhaps it is not the kampung itself that has to invent, finance and find improvements, but it is actually funding from the outside, tax money from the outside, that has to be injected in the kampung, because the city as a whole probably benefits more from the kampung than vice versa.
So yes, you can develop some design pieces like pilasters, poles, foundations in the water, piles, etc. You could refit one house at a time, so that you could bring in some new technology and new services, but make sure those technologies are adhered to what exists in the kampung, so that they can repair it and make it better and make it their own.
Okay, thank you so much, Hubert and Alfredo.